Hello students, I am Professor Isha Mendiratha from LG Institute of Engineering and Technology. In today's video, I will be discussing some more applications of ultrasonic waves. So I have tried to cover medical applications and NDT. NDT is non-destructive testing. A non-destructive testing is a method which is very common industrial application. So let us start with the first application. So shall we start with the medical applications first? Based on the power and frequency of ultrasonic waves, the applications are classified into two types. Now, what frequency of ultrasonic waves are used and what is the power? What is the energy given per unit area? Depending upon these two factors, there are two basic applications in medical industry. The first one is diagnostic application. What do you mean by the term diagnostic? Diagnose something just to know the root cause of something. You can say examination or examine something related to any disorder in the body. That is what is known as diagnostic application. And what is therapeutic application? So ultrasonic waves can also be used as a therapy or as a treatment. So those applications which use ultrasonic waves as a therapy or as a treatment, they will be called therapeutic applications. Okay, so in detail, what do you mean by diagnostic applications? For diagnostic applications, the type of ultrasonic waves used are high frequency and low power. Just to know the root cause, you do not require a higher amount of energy. But yes, definitely you require a very high frequency. Why? Because if the frequency is very, very high, the wavelength would be very small and the waves can penetrate easily inside the body to know the root cause. So for diagnostic applications, high frequency and low power waves are used. Either continuous waves or pulsed modes can be used. Continuous waves means suppose there is a time duration of say 60 seconds. So for during this period of 60 seconds, continuously the ultrasonic waves are transmitted in the body. But if it is pulsed mode, it will be pulses. Say every 5 seconds there will be a pulse sent. Now, this continuous wave is used in applications like measuring of fetal heartbeat, fetal or fetus inside the body, that is during pregnancy. You might have heard sonography. So, sonography is basically done to know what is the growth of fetus, what is the fetal heartbeat. It is also used to know the blood flow rate. Next. Pulsed mode is a specific application which can be used to detect the location of defects inside the body, to know the abnormalities in organs, any organ is not functioning properly, if there is a small tumor developed inside the body. So such abnormalities, unnecessary growth of an organ, if an organ, there is a swelling inside the body, so such applications use pulsed mode of ultrasonic waves. This won't cause any harm to the body because it is just a type of vibration, a high vibration energy which is given to the body. It is not heat. So it is not going to damage your body or any other part of the body. That is why it is a non-invasive method. Now, without actual surgery, only from the scanned image, no need to cut or no need to put a scar on the body. It is just with the help of ultrasound. It's an electrode which only moves on the upper part of your body without harming it. So that can give you a scanned image through which you can know what is the size of defect, what exactly is the location of defect, and what is the nature of defect. So this is about diagnostic applications. Let us see what therapeutic applications say. So if you want to give therapy, that requires low frequency and a very high power, a highly concentrated energy per unit area. So high power ultrasonic waves are used. And if you want to give therapy or if it is used in treatment, continuously the waves are passed on to the body. So continuous wave mode is used for therapeutic applications. Some examples like it is used to break the kidney stones in human body. There is a particular treatment for kidney stones which is called lithotripsy. In that, ultrasonic waves are used to break that stone into a powdered form. It is also used to clean the teeth in dental hygiene. Dentists use ultrasonic wave to remove the, there's a layer, a yellow colored layer formed in teeth if it is not cleaned regularly. So That cleaning also involves the use of ultrasonic waves, which are of low frequency. It is also used to generate local heating in biological tissues during cancer treatment. So during cancer treatment, if there is a tumor developed, to remove the tumor, it needs to be burned. So that requires only a particular area should be heated. And in that treatment, also ultrasonic waves are used. So this was all about the medical applications of ultrasonic waves. Now let us move on to the next one, that is NDT, non-destructive testing. NDT stands for non-destructive testing, means the testing is performed on a specific object. It can be a metal, it can be a ceramic, it can be any material without destroying the material or without reducing its service life. So after the testing, the material won't be damaged. So it is basically a testing method which is used to locate defects or flaws. Flaws is a synonym used for defects in the components without destroying them, without damaging them, or without reducing the service life of components. What do you mean by service life? Service life means the duration for which the object is going to serve you. Suppose you purchase I'll just give you an example. Suppose you purchase a refrigerator. So it has a particular life. Suppose it works for it is going to serve you for 5 years, it is going to serve you for 10 years. So that 10 years period is known as the service life of refrigerator, wherein it is going to serve you. No materials produced under industrial processes are 100% accurate. Now, definitely, during the manufacturing processes, whatever materials are produced, we can't say that all of them are 100% accurate. There are some defects present, I do not say in all, but definitely, suppose there are 1,000 pieces of being produced. Out of those 1,000 pieces, there is a probability that one or two have slight defects. So 100% accuracy is never achieved. So that is the reason NDT is used to test those materials. Because just imagine that if there is a small, say a small wooden box, which is used for construction of a huge structure. So if that wooden box is defective itself, though it appears to be a solid, but from inside, under the surface, there is some defect present that can lead to the damage of the entire structure. So that is the reason non-destructive testing is used to test it before it is used in some other product. The flaws or defects present in the materials may reduce the service life of the components that will result in permanent failure. Now what is NDT? The definition of NDT is, it is defined as the process of testing a material without causing any damage or without reducing its service life. Now, there are certain objectives of non-destructive testing. There are certain motives of non-destructive testing. Why is it used? So, three of them are listed here. The first one says to increase the serviceability. You can say serviceability means to increase the service life. If the defect is identified at the earlier stage, either you will be replacing the product or you will be rectifying it and you will be modifying it so that the service life is reduced. Suppose I give you an example, there is a defect in the cooling system of refrigerator. So either it will not be supplied, it will not be brought into the commercial market. But if that small leakage can be rectified, so the service life of the product has increased. So NDT will give you increased service life. So NDT is used to detect the flaws or faults that are likely to reduce the service life of finished components. Say for example, there is a defect which is occurring at the surface or which is below the surface. So slowly, if the defect is below the surface, what happens? It can initiate a fatigue failure. Continuously, if you are using it, slowly, it will lead to a failure. Such defects, if detected earlier, can increase the service life of the final product. So either, as I said, either you replace the raw product or you just modify it. So in turn, what you get is increased life of final products. Next, to improve the productivity and to increase the profits. So as I said, if the raw material is defective, the finished product will also be defective. And after bringing it into the market, if it is come to if that comes to notice that the product is defective, then what happens? The entire manufacturing cost is wasted. But if the defect was identified at the earlier stage, we could have saved the production cost. Getting it? So this is how during the NDT process, if the defects are identified, the productivity will increase and the profits will increase. Defective materials should be located at an early stage in production so that there is a so that there is less wear and tear on the plant. Plant here stands for the industrial unit. Testing the objects such as casting. Casting is the thing which is used to make the entire structure, be it commercial, be it residential. Welds, ingots. Ingots are huge slabs which are used in construction. They have an advantage, thereby increasing the quality of product and in turn profits also. This will also save or prevent the loss of material. It will also save manpower and shop time. Shop time means the total time for which the material is into making. So that making period or making process is known as shop time. Next objective of NDT is to increase safety. So by finding and locating defects which may cause malfunctioning or breakdown of equipment, safety can be increased. You know, aircraft and automobile industries use non-destructive testing at earlier phases. Just assume a situation that the flight has already taken off and there is a defect in the wing that can lead to a major accident. But if that was tested prior to the flight taking off, we could have saved the accident. So when the defect size is, there are some defects which are in the allowed range, but if that defect size increases the allowed range, then the component will lead to a definite failure, and that will lead to an accident or a dangerous result. So when the defect size increases the allowed size, the component should be replaced before the premature failure, which would avoid dangerous results. So this method is very useful in aircraft and automobile industries. Next, ultrasonics in identifying defects. Basic use of ultrasonics is to identify the defects so that they increase the service life, so that it increases productivity and profits, so that it increases safety. Now, due to the property of ultrasonic waves that they get reflected whenever there is a change in medium, they are used to detect the presence of flaws or defects in the form of cracks, porosity, or air bubbles. Just an example I'll give you, that you have a solid wooden box. It appears to be a solid from outside. But just assume that there is a small hole inside the box, and that box is a raw material for some final product. Getting it? So in that case, how is that tested? If ultrasonic waves are passed directly in the wood, whenever those ultrasonic waves encounter the air bubble, they will reflect back, because wood and air are two different materials, and ultrasonic waves have a property that they are reflected when the medium changes. So this is how the defect can be identified. The basic process involves sending of ultrasonic waves in the test specimen, and then by analyzing the reflected beam from the flaw or defect, the presence and location can be determined. Now, basically, the defects are of two types. One type of defect is which occurs on the surface of any material. That can be because of not very good conditions during the cooling process. That can be the cracks produced due to heat process or due to rolling. If the objects are rolled during that process also, if the surface is uneven, that leads to cracks on the surface. Those occurring under the surface. Now, what are the type of uh, defects occurring under the surface? Now, the defects which are occurring under the surface, they are not visible by us. They can be porosity or some internal cracks. Again, that can be due to heat process, due to the hammering or rolling process, or due to the cooling process. So these are the two basic type of defects which are detected by non-destructive testing. Now let us see the difference between non-destructive test and the destructive test. Destructive test, why is it called destructive? Because after this test, there is a possibility that your material gets damaged. It is not that every time it will destroy, but there is a possibility that the material will get damaged. This is used for finding the defects of materials, and destructive is used to find the properties of materials. Properties like hardness, brittleness, toughness. Load is not applied in this material and load is applied in the material. This will only apply ultrasonic waves, whereas destructive test will apply a load. Load means pressure. No load application, so no chance for material damage. Material is not going to damage, only ultrasonic waves will enter the material and they come back whenever the medium changes. But in case of destructive test, due to the load applications, the material might get damaged. No requirement of any special equipments. It just requires a piezoelectric source and a screen on which you can see when the pulses were sent and when they are received. But the destructive test requires special equipments. Non-destructive test is not expensive, but destructive is expensive because of the set of equipments it requires. Less skilled staff can perform this test, but highly skilled staff requires to perform the destructive test. Some examples are ultrasonic testing, radiography. These are some basic examples of non-destructive testing, whereas destructive testing includes tensile test, compression test, and hardness test. Tensile stress means outward forces applied on the object to know how well it can elongate. Compression is the material is compressed, so inward force from all sides is applied so that it comes to know what stress it can tolerate. Getting it? So this is about non-destructive testing. I will be discussing the methods of non-destructive testing in my coming video. Hope you have understood the topic. Thank you.